Hi and welcome to day 11 of the 2022 40-day fast. I'm Madigan and I am vlogging my way through a 40-day fast. I've been doing this for about 20 years now, but this is the first time that I've put together 40 videos answering 40 questions around fasting. Felt that God really put it on my heart at the beginning of this fast to move out of sort of a silent or private way of doing the fast and answer questions around this so that it could help people. So today, coming to you, day 11, I'm feeling actually really pretty good today. The first 10 days have been quite rough. It felt pretty ordinary the whole time, but I'm starting to come good, which happens in a long-term fast. You do actually move from that state of nausea and feeling just lethargic into actually, you start to feel quite good and at times euphoric. So I've hit that, which is really nice. Today I want to answer the question around this idea of who can I tell? And it's a really challenging question because a lot of the time, the teaching we received is, people have used Matthew 6 to really say you shouldn't tell anyone at all. And I just want to think through that a little bit today. So I'm going to answer that question of who should I tell. So generally in the Old Testament, it's interesting, fasts were very public communal events. The Day of Atonement was the one day of the year, and that was a public fast that the whole of the spiritual community knew about and entered into. And also in Joel chapter 2 verse 15 and so on, as Joel is speaking from God to call the community to fast, it actually says in chapter 2 that to actually call every single person, that even those who were at the wedding altar were to stop what they were doing and come and fast. Parents, everybody. So it's interesting that in Joel, the fast is very public. So generally, what happens, I think, in the Old Testament, and even into some of the New Testament stuff we see in Acts, where some of the church planters were sent out after they spent time praying and fasting. There is generally, I think, in the scriptures, the idea that fasting was a public event, a communal event that everybody knew about and everyone knew that you were doing. And it's interesting that Jesus would address this issue with the Pharisees. See, the Pharisees, they took that public thing to be very much a moment for them to turn the attention on themselves. So when Jesus in chapter 6 verse 16 and 18 said to them, look, don't stand on the corner, don't paint your face, don't make yourself look worse. He's really addressing an attitude of the heart of them wanting to show themselves as being spiritually superior to everybody else. So what does that mean for us? Well, I think what it means for us is as we move into fasting or we move into any of the disciplines, that if our attitude is right, then we don't need to worry about whether it's a public thing or a private thing. So I just want to challenge our thinking around that. Unless you're the sort of person who prays on the corner of a street and you've got a sign on you saying, how spiritual am I? Then probably Matthew 6 in a literal sense around fasting probably doesn't apply to you that much. That being said, we do also think about prayer passages that talk about the closet and praying in the closet. So there's another bit of noise that's coming to you from Motorcycle Week in Mazatlan. You'll probably hear that over the next couple of days. Can't really avoid it. But so it's an important thing to keep it as a private personal activity, but I don't think there's necessarily harm if your attitude is right in letting it be a public thing. So for me, what's helped me think through this over the years, and this is probably about my 23rd, 24th long-term fast, is the whole idea is, are the people who I'm going to tell saved or unsaved? If I'm amongst the unsaved, I won't be talking to them about that. And there's even been times at dinner parties and weddings, so what I'll do is I'll eat a small amount, as little as I can, to draw no attention to myself. Because amongst the unsaved, I don't want to make a big deal about it. Often they don't understand, and it feels a little bit grandstandy. But if I'm with Christians or I'm in a Christian community and they ask me straight out, I'm going to answer them, because what I want to do is I want to actually stir up a discipling type conversation. I actually want to stir the waters a little bit around fasting, considering that there was a generation not that long ago that hardly anyone did it, and now churches right across the globe are really rediscovering it. So I'm really all about stirring a new conversation around fasting. So I think the key thing is if you can limit the attention about who you are and your spirituality and encourage others to fast. And I don't think there's a problem in telling others about it. Of course, I would encourage you, if you're going to do some fasting, there are 3 people that are really important to tell. I would say your doctor is really important. If you've never done it before, if you've done it heaps, then you're fine. If you've never done it before, I would encourage you to have a conversation with your doctor. If you are in a church that doesn't fast much, I'd say have a conversation with your pastor. If you're in a church that fasts a lot, you probably don't need to have that conversation, but it's always good for them to know where you're tracking spiritually. And the last person is your spouse. If you're married, or if you're you're married or you're in a family, it's important for your family members to know, because they need to adjust meal times and expectations. So there you go. That's a little bit of thinking today around the whole idea of who can I tell. So if you like this video, please like it and share it on the socials. That'd be great. Or even just send me a comment in the socials. It'd be really helpful. Helps break the Facebook algorithm. And go to YouTube, of course, and you can subscribe there. Bless you. I hope you have a great day. See you on day 12 of the 2022 fast.